Hi, my name's Luella Young, and welcome to my YouTube channel. As of the last month or so, I just decided I am going to try to create more and more videos about just keeping it real because there's just so much fakeness out there right now, and I'm just getting very sick of it. As a psychotherapist, I can see how people struggle day to day because of comparisons and feeling they should be doing something different. They should be looking a certain way or doing certain type of work, or whether that's being an entrepreneur that's just going to make money super quickly, or being in this amazing loving relationship, or why don't I have a girlfriend yet? Why am I not married to the love of my life? Everybody is second guessing who they are and what they're doing, and it's making for a lot of suffering, I think, in people's lives that just aren't necessary. The main thing that you need to concentrate on is just being yourself, and and living every day as much as as you can, just sort of exposing your real self and trusting that people are going to love you because, well, you're a child of God, first of all. You would not have been created if you weren't extremely loved, and there's a purpose for you here. But if you're going to hide behind some sort of mask and pretend that you need to be a certain way in order to be accepted, you will not likely find happiness in that shape or form of whoever you are. We are programmed to follow a certain moral compass. We have all been given the gift of knowing what's right and what's wrong. And if we do something that's wrong, it's because, well, the way we know that we're doing it wrong is that it's feeling icky. It's feeling out of alignment somehow. It's not true to who we actually want to be. And then we get these thoughts infiltration of, well, should haves, and it's just suffering. It's just sort of, we make a choice, and if it's the right thing to do, we automatically feel good. It's not necessarily going to make the situation the way you want it to be, but it was the right thing to do. And when you get past that uncomfortableness, it's sort of like you're cracked open into receiving more and more abundance and happiness in your life. And it begins like to be like a flywheel, a fast forwarding of your life, and it's going to get better and better and better because you're being authentic and genuine, but you're also doing the right thing. And often that means doing the hard thing. And often when you're doing the hard thing, you should remind yourself that, this is just temporary, and it's going to get me closer to my goal. Now, I want you to get to know me better. And there's so many things I could talk about in the sense of what I just mentioned. There's so many little tangents I could go on, and if I'm going to make an apology for myself right in the beginning, I think that's my worst, I don't know, my biggest struggle in some ways is that I I can go off on tangents, and sometimes it's difficulty it's difficult for me to kind of stay in a flow, coherent, and maybe with clarity. Sometimes my message may not come out as completely clear, and I want you to be patient with me. I'm just going to ask you that right from the beginning. This is a practice for me, right? Just to get up in front of my computer, a camera, or whatever it is, and just practice speaking to you like there is a huge audience in front of me. And I mean, they say that public speaking is the most terrifying thing that you can do, and I think that's true in many respects. So, but the thing that I'm going to keep in the forefront of my mind in order not to be afraid, and granted, I'm speaking in front of my computer. It's like a faceless thing. If I was in front of thousands and thousands of people whose faces are shining back at me, I mean, I think that's where it's super easy or yeah, super easy to start getting really anxious. And it's like, am I making these people happy? Are they confused? Are they, because I guess that's the beauty about staying in front of a computer. It's sort of like, if you're not interested, you're just going to shut me off right now, and I'm never going to know that. I mean, I guess I could go into the analytics thing and think, oh, this person, they dropped off here, they dropped off on minute like 5.33 seconds. And but I mean, I tend not to do it. Maybe at some point I'm going to get really good at this, and I'm going to look at into the Google Analytics. It's sort of like, if I get one more subscriber, I'm just like, oh, that's great. And I'm just going to keep on going on, but it's not going to make or break me. um I think, like, and I know that most of us cause our suffering because of the self-deprecation that we use towards ourselves every single day. And the problem is that a lot of people don't even realize, like, you don't know what you don't know until you take time to sort of sit with your thoughts and kind of go, I have this certain belief about myself that I didn't even really know existed until you asked me about it. And like, do I love making videos? Part of me is going to say yes, because sometimes when I have something that I want to say, I feel great in being able to click this on and just say it. I mean, there's something very liberal about that and freeing. Um, but is my first choice to write about it? Yes. If I felt like there was a perfect self-expression that I would have, and I'm going to get into more about self-expression in a bit, it would be to be a writer. But in high school, did I ever give myself the freedom and choice to become a writer? No, no, because I didn't think that would ever be a possibility. But I'm gonna say it right now, and I like to think that someday I'm gonna look back at this video, or you're gonna come across this video, and you're gonna go, "Wow, she said this 3 years ago, and now look at her," sort of thing. But why didn't I when I was a student? Why didn't I? There's so many. I mean, if you get to know me, you'll realize I've had different career paths, and it's because I would grab onto something and then think, well, no, I can't do that, and give up on it. Had I just trusted myself and honored myself and loved myself to say, no, am going to do this, and just had that trajectory, just sort of like, this is the goal and I'm going to get there, sort of thing, upward and onward, as they say. Like, honoring my desire right from the beginning, because I like to ask people this question sometimes, to sort of like, what's your idea of a perfect day? And to me, it would be a blend of like some sort of interaction. I'm not like, I'm not someone that wants to live in a cave. Like, I do want human interaction, but I don't necessarily need human interaction. Um, but it would be a blend of being outdoors and movement and good nutrition, um, and some interaction with another human being, or maybe it's an animal, I don't know, but somewhere that I think I could kind of give and receive, to obtain that love. And my perfect self-expression would be to write, and not feel ashamed about that. Yours might be completely different. But that's what I mean. It's sort of like ask yourself that question. What's my version of a perfect day? And honor that and not feel like you are weird for that, you know? Your need for socialization and maybe relationships and love could be 70% of who you are. And maybe you can live in a tent, and so this whole idea of abundance is not really, I'm a very simple person. I don't need luxury around me, or I'm happy going to a $70 motel and experiencing a city that way. And other people may be much more, they love luxury, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's this channel for me is to help you be the best self-expression that you can be. In one, because this is the thing, this is the cool thing, that when you're in your perfect self-expression, you are full of abundance. Now, whether that be wealth, relationships, whatever abundance means to you, you're full of abundance. You give and receive love on a level that just fills you with joy. And your health is optimal. You look healthy, you move healthy, you eat healthfully, and it's not, it's all very simple too. Like when it's sometimes when health, I mean, my podcast used to really focus a lot on health because I think health is one of the four, like when I see, this is what I mean about going off in tangents a little bit, but just stick with me and I'll explain this a little bit further. But what I mentioned to you, health, wealth, love or relationships, whatever you want to call it, and self-expression is what Florence Shin has written about, and that I really love, is sort of, this is the pathway, the square of life towards happiness, is when you look at these four sides of the square and honor them. And this channel is going to be focused mainly on the self-expression, because I honestly feel like identity and self-expression is one of the sides that isn't spoken about enough or given enough attention, and to me could be probably the most important one, because there's tons of information on health. I mean, we're bombarded about like what is the healthy lifestyle now. Too much information. Relationships, I mean, I think that's going to be like, I'll never run out of work because we ourselves are so individualized, and to thought of, two very different people spending their lives together, and making it work is fascinating. How does that actually work? Because we have such a different past experiences. How do we get along with one another is another, acceptance. From, I hope you understand that now from what I've just talked to you about, like accepting, and not making another person wrong or right in terms of who they are. But and I mean, we all feel like, wealth or having enough money is a pathway to help happiness because it's a currency. I mean, we don't live in times where we exchange, sugar or flour or gold. I mean, money is a currency, and we need money in order to um make a life for ourselves, quite simply. Um, Now, how much? That's that's very different opinions. I want to. My goal is for myself to be more authentic and genuine in terms of who I want to show up as, and not be afraid of being real, as I said, in this fake world that we are in. And and because I think the more we're real with ourselves, we're able to ask ourselves, why am I unhappy right now? Like, why do I feel off right now? Why is my mood like this? How how can I make myself lighter? How how can I change the energy inside my body right now to be that of a higher frequency? Your body is simply a vessel that holds the energy. And therefore, nutrition and health is always going to be important because you have to respect your body. But it's the energy within the body that is really the pathway towards happiness. And your words hold a lot of power because your words, your thoughts are energy. So, in some ways, that's very exciting because the words that you use, the thoughts that you have from moment to moment can change the energy within yourself very, very quickly. And so that's exciting as a person, and so I hope you feel excited about what I've shared with you so far and what I will be sharing with you in future videos. Um, and I really hope that after listening to what I have to say here will make you want to subscribe, and please be patient with me because it I do intend to practice and I do intend to get better and better at this. And trust that I will be able to bring you the happiness that every single person deserves on this earth. Um, and just know that suffering doesn't happen to us, that we actually create all of our own suffering. So, knowing that, I hope you feel excited because that means you can change your world very easily. So, thanks.